Bonjour, bonjour. Today we're going to look at pronominal verbs in the present tense. Pronominal verbs in their infinitive form, which is what you will find in the Dictionnaire Français, have the word se, which means oneself, in front. Sometimes verbs will just have a normal sense where they're not pronominal, and then underneath, if a pronominal version exists, you'll see it underneath in the dictionary. Examples of pronominal verbs in their infinitive form are se réveiller, to wake oneself up, se lever, to get oneself up, s'habiller, to dress oneself. So it's se if your pronominal verb starts with a vowel or a mute H, which acts as a vowel, it will be S apostrophe. French is prolific with pronominal verbs, and English isn't. And some French pronominal verbs sound really strange when you translate them into English, as if they make no sense. But of course, they make sense to speakers of French. There are 3 types of pronominal verb. First of all, the reflexive verbs, the things that we do to ourselves to get oneself up, se lever. There are ones that are called idiomatic verbs. These are often the ones that sound really strange when they're translated. For example, to have fun, s'amuser, to amuse oneself, like Queen Victoria. So these are expressions a lot of the time. And number 3, reciprocal verbs. Here we need more than one person to be involved. It is things that we do to each other, or in English we sometimes say one another. For example, to love one another, s'aimer. Pronominal verbs have to have their reflexive pronouns, which is why they're called pronominal verbs, because they have to come along with a pronoun. Here are the reflexive pronouns. Me, myself, which becomes M apostrophe before a vowel. Te, yourself, T apostrophe before a vowel. Se, which can mean himself, herself, oneself. S apostrophe before a vowel. Nous, ourselves. Vous, yourself or yourselves. And se, themselves. S apostrophe before a vowel. Bonne nouvelle! The vast majority of pronominal verbs are regular ER verbs. Yippee! So we'll get those endings of E, ES, ONS, EZ, ENT. Let's conjugate to wake oneself up. Se réveiller in the present tense. Je me réveille. Tu te réveilles. ES at the end. Il, elle, on se réveille. He, she, one wakes himself, herself, oneself up. Nous nous réveillons, we wake ourselves up. Vous vous réveillez, you wake yourself or yourselves up. Il, elle se réveille. Remember, ENT, when it comes to verbs, is silent. They wake themselves up. The pronominal verbs that we're going to look at in this lesson are mainly to do with daily routine. Tell me what they mean. Se réveiller, to wake up, to wake oneself up. Se lever, to get up. Now I've put an asterisk there because there is a slight change in spelling when you conjugate this. When you conjugate the verb and you get E consonant and a silent E or silent ES or silent ENT, that E before the consonant then needs to have a grave accent on there. Right? So when it's E consonant, silent E, ES, ENT, you need to put that grave accent on that E before the consonant. Se doucher, to get a shower. Se laver, to wash oneself with a lovely lave. Se raser, to shave. Remember, S between 2 vowels is a Z sound. 2 S's is a lovely S sound. Se brosser. Okay, to brush, as in se brosser les cheveux. You don't have to say mes cheveux, ses cheveux, because you're doing it to yourself or he's doing it to himself anyway. So you would just say il se brosse les cheveux. Elle se brosse les dents. Se coiffer. Okay, une coiffure is a hairdo, and coiffeur or une coiffeuse is a hairdresser. Se coiffer is to do one's hair. S'habiller, to get dressed. Se rhabiller, to get dressed again, or to put your clothes back on. You've got this ah, then straight into the H, and that's just because the H of habiller is a mute H. It acts like a vowel. So they don't want to have another E in there, right? So it goes straight into rhabiller. Imagine that H isn't there. Se préparer. So se préparer can mean to prepare something for oneself, like le petit déjeuner, or it can mean to get ready. Se sécher. Don't say it when you're drunk. Se sécher. Se sécher. To dry. So you might dry your hands. Se sécher les mains. You don't need to say mes mains. Ses mains. Tes mains. Se sécher les cheveux. Remember, hair is plural in French. Se maquiller. Going to put on that mask to put on one's makeup. Se déshabiller. To undress. Se coucher. Voulez-vous coucher? To go to bed. It actually means to lie down, but it's used in French to say to go to bed. À vous, your turn. How do we say to wake up? Se réveiller. Okay, the alarm clock is le réveil, the waker-upper. To wake up, se réveiller. To get up, to levitate out of bed. Se lever. To get a shower. Se doucher. To wash oneself. Se laver. Get that lather up. To shave. Se raser. To brush. Se brosser. To do one's hair. Coiffer. Se coiffer. To get dressed. S'habiller. To get dressed again or put your clothes back on. Se rhabiller. To prepare for oneself, like breakfast or to get ready. Se préparer. To dry. Se sécher. Here the asterisk is there for the same reason as for se lever. Okay, so that E acute accent will change for everything except for the nous, vous conjugation because of the silent E situation for the E, ES, ENT endings. That acute accent will become a grave one. Not for nous and vous though, because you've got ONS, which is sounded, séchant, and you've got vous séchez, the EZ is sounded. So the accent will stay acute for the nous and vous conjugations of sécher. To put on one's makeup, more like putting on a mac really, isn't it? Se maquiller. To undress. Se déshabiller. To go to bed. Se coucher. Because we're going to talk about daily routine, let's remind ourselves of how to tell the time. They tell the time by talking about hours in French, heure, and hour is feminine. So when you want to say it's 1 o'clock, you will say it is 1 hour. The word one has to be feminine. Il est une heure. Let's go round, say it before I do. Il est 2 heures. Join that X because the H of heure acts as a vowel. It's like it's not there. You can merge them together. Il est, same again, 3 heures. Il est 4 heures. Il est 5 heures. Il est 6 heures. Il est 7 heures. You do not hear the P. 7 heures. Il est 8 heures. Il est 9 heures. Il est 10 heures. Il est 11 heures. You can hear I joined the T to the 11 there. Cheeky, huh? Il est 11 heures. You don't have to. Il est 12 heures. If it is midday, you can say il est midi, M-I-D-I, midi, midnight, minuit, M-I, nuit, N-U-I-T, all one word. Midi, minuit. When you want to talk about the minutes, you just say it is 1 hour 5, etc. Il est 1h05. Il est 2h10. Quarter past is écart. Il est 3h15. You could say il est 3h15 if you feel like it. Il est 4h20. Il est 5h25. You could say il est 6h30, but if you want to say half past, you say et demi. Il est 6h30. Demi has an e on because heure is feminine. To talk about to the hour, they actually say less. So they will say it is 7 hours less 25. Okay? The word for less is moins. Very nasal. Moins. So 25 to 7, il est 7h moins 25. 20 to 8, it is 8 hours less 20. Il est 8h moins 20. It's quarter to 9 will be il est 9h moins le quart. They've decided to put le in now for le quart. Quarter past is écart. Quarter to is moins le quart. Another way of saying it is quarter to 9 would be 8:45. Il est 8h45. Okay, it is 10 to 10. Il est 10h moins 10. 5 to 11. Il est 11h moins 5. In English, we have the handy AM and PM. That doesn't exist in French. So you can say, for example, il est 8h du matin. They say of the morning. Il est 2h de l'après-midi. 2 in the afternoon. Il est 8h du soir. It's 8 p.m. However, the French use the 24-hour clock quite a lot, especially for transport. So it's worth getting familiar with using the 24-hour clock in French. D'habitude, je me couche à, d'habitude means usually. D'habitude, je me couche à, I usually go to bed at, what is 23 heures? The little h is how they do it, with a little h in the middle. 11 p.m. Très bien. 21h45. 21 heures because heure is feminine. You have to say 21 heures. Quarter to 10 at night. You cannot say it is quarter to 22. You can't say it in English for the 24-hour time. You can't say it in French. When you use the 24-hour clock, you have to say what you see. 21 hours 45. Il est 21h45. D'habitude, je me couche à 21h45. 22h30. You can't say 22 when you're using the 24-hour clock. Some people can't get their heads around this, but you wouldn't say it in English, you can't say it in French either. You say what is written, 22 hours 30. 22h30. It is not 22:15. You could say it's 10:15 du soir, but if you're using the 24-hour clock, you say what you see. It is 22 hours 15. Il est 22h15. D'habitude, je me couche à 22h15. D'accord, a few handy phrases for your daily routine. La routine quotidienne. Daily is quotidien. It's your daily quota, or quotidienne for feminine. D'habitude, usually. Pour la plupart du temps, for the most part, we would probably say most of the time. Pour la plupart du temps. Des fois, or parfois, sometimes. Sometimes has been split in two in French. De temps en temps, from time to time. You might need the days of the week, depending on whether your routine is different on certain days. Donc, les jours de la semaine, the days of the week, or weekdays, lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi. They are not capitalized in French unless they're at the beginning of a sentence. Le week-end, samedi, dimanche. Au mois de janvier, or you could just use en for the months, en janvier, février, mars, avril, mai, juin, juillet, août, septembre, octobre, novembre, décembre. Les saisons, in winter, en hiver, in summer, en été, in autumn, en automne, and changes from en to au. Who knows why? Maybe it's the vowel, I don't know. Au printemps, in spring. Have a go at translating this. D'habitude, les jours de la semaine, je me réveille à 7 heures du matin. Usually, on weekdays, I wake up at 7 in the morning. On prend le petit déjeuner, je fais la vaisselle de la veille, je prépare le déjeuner de ma fille, et puis on monte nous préparer. Okay, we have breakfast, I do the washing up from the previous day, I prepare my daughter's breakfast, and then we go up and get ready. On se douche, we get a shower. Les jours qu'on se lave les cheveux, on se les sèche. The days that we wash our hair, we dry it. On se brosse les dents et on s'habille. We brush our teeth and we get dressed. On se brosse les cheveux et on se coiffe. We brush our hair and we do our hair. Moi, je me maquille et puis j'emmène ma fille à son école. I put on my makeup and I take my daughter to her school. The French often in speaking will do this moi je. It's very, very common. Me, I do this. Me, I do that. You'll hear it a lot. On quitte la maison à 8h20. We leave the house at 8:20. Je reviens chez moi vers 9h en passant par la piscine pour réserver ma place dans une classe de gym. So I come back home to my place around 9 o'clock, passing by the swimming pool where I reserve my place in one of the gym classes. Je bois un café et je me mets au travail. I drink a coffee and I get to work. I get cracking with work. Se mettre à means to get going with something. Je prépare mes cours. I prepare my lessons. Les mardis, mercredis, jeudis et les vendredis, j'enseigne le français. On Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays and Fridays, I teach French. Les mercredis, j'enregistre et j'édite mes vidéos et j'écris les résumés et les devoirs avec les réponses. On Wednesdays, remember they don't say on, they just say Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, I record and I edit my videos and I write the summaries and the homework with the answers. Les samedis matins, ma mère amène ma fille à une école française, pendant que moi je travaille sur les nouveaux cours pour la semaine suivante. On Saturday mornings, my mother takes my daughter to a French school, whilst me, I work on new lessons for the coming week, for the next week. Samedi après-midi, ma fille fait un cours de dessin. On a Saturday afternoon, my daughter does an art class. D'habitude, nous dînons vers 19h30. We usually have dinner around 7:30 p.m. Ma fille se couche vers 21h. My daughter goes to bed around 9 p.m. Moi, je me couche entre 22h et 23h après avoir regardé un peu la télé. I go to bed between 10 and 11 o'clock at night after having watched a little telly. Les dimanches, je fais une classe de gym le matin et puis ma fille joue avec ses amis du quartier. Sundays, I do a gym class in the morning and my daughter plays with the children in the area, in the neighborhood. Les après-midi, nous faisons quelque chose, comme par exemple, nous nous promenons, nous allons au parc ou on se rejoint aux amis ou la famille. The afternoons, we normally do something like going for a walk, or we go to the park, or we meet up with friends or family. Have a go at doing this yourself. Writing your daily routine will provide you with the words that you need because they will be the words that are important in your life because you are doing them every day. They'll be good for your French conversation. So have a go at doing it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to be real. It could be your ideal day if you like, but have a go at doing it. Merci beaucoup. À la prochaine fois les amis.